Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, best laid plans of mice and men. I was up early yesterday, about 6-ish or so, and power was out for the geomagnetic storm and didn't come on to almost 11 o'clock last night. I figured, I'll record my videos. Same thing. Forgot to check the microphone because I was wiped out and just excited I could record. Good readings. I'm going to repeat them. So you're not going to miss anything. It's just that they're going to come up 10 hours later than you would have had otherwise. Okay, first reading. I'm actually going to read on Barron Trump for the first time, but not really. Barron Trump was selected as an at-large delegate in Florida. It was announced on Wednesday. The chair of the Republican Party, Evan Power, had said that the 18-year-old high school senior would serve as one of the 41 at-large delegates in Florida at the national gathering where the GOP is officially set to nominate Donald Trump as their presidential candidate. 2 days later, on Friday, Melania, Trump's spokesperson, said, Barron thanks them for the opportunity, but unfortunately he has to decline because he has prior commitments. Seems to me somebody didn't run the idea past his mom, and mom put the kabash on it. It's an interesting dynamic. He's 18. He's an adult. He gets to make his decisions. But I think this is one of those lines in the sand where Melania is like, over my dead body, are you going to let my son be dragged into this political quagmire? I don't think she came away. She's a private person, just is. That's who she is. And politics is a nasty, dirty business, and everything you do is scrutinized and criticized. If you look at the general electorate prior to 2016, you had 40% were going to be Democrats, 40% are going to be Republicans, and 20% are undecided. So if anything a president does, 40% of the people are likely going to like it, 40% are going to hate it, and 20% will just wait and see if it impacts them, or they just will never have an opinion. How a president ever gets much more than 40% approval rating, I don't know. But no, just that's overly simplified, but it gets the point across. Melania is of the opinion that, it's 80%. It doesn't matter. She watched Trump get hammered. Now, again, when you do fashy things and you try and overturn a government amongst other things, generally speaking, your popularity is not going to be so great amongst the opposition party, but also the independents, the 20% in the middle. But she doesn't want Barron to get dragged into that, and I don't blame her. Kid's 18 years old, man. Think about when you were 18. How would you like to be thrust into the national spotlight for something that your father does? It's not like you're an Olympic athlete and you're doing it on your own merits. This is just the reason why he's in there is because his dad is going to be the presidential candidate. And how ironic is it that how different is this than Hunter Biden getting put on as on a board because his dad was a former VP? It's a privilege. Now, I'm not saying that Republican delegates get paid a lot of money, but it's a prestigious position. It's an honor to be serving with that. Barron Trump's 18. He hasn't lived even a little bit. Dude's going off to college. Anyways, enough pontificating. Let's start reading. I'm not going to read on Barron per se. What I'm going to read on is I want to read on the energy around the RNC, offering it to Barron, why they did that. I think that's going to be obvious. And then I'm going to read on Melania and her response to Barron being nominated. I still want to honor Barron's privacy. He's not a public figure in the way that Don Jr., Eric, or Ivanka would be. Okay. Also, is kind of the same reason I don't read on Tiffany. She's not out there throwing it in people's faces, so I leave her alone. Right? Entertainment purposes only. RNC, Evan Power. Why did you offer an at-large delegation positioned to Barron Trump? And funny thing, in last night's reading, a lot of coins came up, and here we go again. They're going to offer him an opportunity to work in the campaign, but this seems, and it's a valuable position to be seated in, and Barron Trump could be cutting his political teeth on that if Barron Trump is interested in that. That's certainly the possibility, but it's about money. Donald Trump is holding all the money, And if the RNC in Florida wants to get some of that, well, you kind of have to, you know which tree you have to shake to get the money down. And cross with the Ace of Swords and the Empress underneath. Yeah, Trump is holding all the money. And if you want to take care of your candidates and keep your agenda going forward, you're going to have to do some things. Now, this is also a way to appeal to Donald Trump because it's setting up the crown moment, right? And she's got a crown on too. That, hey, this is your family dynasty coming in here. We've got Don Jr., we've got Eric, we've got Ivanka, we've got, I think Ivanka is invited to this one. You have Tiffany. Now, Barron, your whole family's invited to be the at-large delegates for the RNC. All we're at, but here's the thing. They didn't talk with Melania. I don't think they talked with Melania at all. They want Donald to take care of them. But they didn't. Who the Empress was, Donald may hold the purse strings, but Melania scares the heck out of Donald. Donald's intimidated by strong women. In the past, we have the King of Pentacles. There you go, between DeSantis and Trump. Trump holds all the money. He holds all the money. And when he put Lara Trump, it could also be Lara Trump too. When you put Lara Trump in charge of the RNC and then make it the TNC for the Trump National Convention, then all of a sudden, I can turn my light here. All of a sudden, Trump really holds all the money. There's no money going to down ballot candidates. How else are you going to shake it free other than to appease the king and create a dynasty for him? Yep. Last night's reading, I had the 6, the 7, and the 8, and here's the 6. Current situation, the RNC needs money desperately. And if they offer up a little thing, what is it for one of our 41 delegates to give it to Barron if this uncorks money and helps free up money so that we have some power and influence? And don't think for a second that, in the cynic in me is like, yeah, how else, if we don't have much money to skim, there's not much fat on the budget to skim. We need some extra money in here so we can get our nice things too. I think a lot of politicians have gotten very comfortable with the quote unquote normal amount of corruption that's allowed in their parties. Overarching lesson, Page of Wands. Hey, he's young, he's 18. Maybe he'll appeal to the younger base. Maybe this could be the launch of a new dynamic, a new Republican leader that's going to come out of this. So, they can convince themselves that that's a good thing for them to do as well. Besides, if you don't offer it, you're definitely not going to get the money. You may offer it and you still may not get the money, but you don't know till you try. Lesson to be learned. 2 of Pentacles. The money's been on the down. They have been losing money. They don't have the finances. It's all about finances. Look at all this. Finances, finances, finances. Trump's holding on all the small donors. And, Nikki Haley had all the big donors behind her. But the RNC is just, in Florida, they don't have the money. They need money. They need money to do what they need to do. They need money for themselves, too. Outcome is the 8 of Cups. Yeah, so they offered it, but he's not accepting it. And we know this would have been an interesting read without knowing the result of Barron. But now knowing that Barron is not accepting it because he has other commitments, he's walking away from this offer. And this might be an emotional relief for him. There's a lot of talk that he is rather quiet or introverted. There's been rumors of like autism. Lord knows, I have no idea, and I wouldn't know, nor should I know, if that's the case. But this doesn't seem like the type of thing that he wanted to do. And again, especially at 18 years old, that just doesn't seem to be his personality. So good, If mom needed to go in there and be the bad guy, she's got no problem with that. That's just gonna say. Okay, so it looks like the Florida RNC is offering this basically because they need money. Their brand's going down. They don't have the money, and they need it. And Trump's the only one holding on to it. So kiss the ring and see what you can shake free from it. Okay, so now, Melania. It doesn't look like, by the way the articles are written and the responses and stuff like that, this doesn't look like it was run by Melania at all. I think she got caught flat-footed. Because if they ran it by her, she would have put the kibosh on it and never would have been announced in the first place. That's where I'm going with this. So let's read on the energy of Melania and see what happens when you mess with her son. Not Donald's son, her son. Let's be really clear. Happy Mother's Day, by the way, Melania. And there we go. Page of Wands. Is saying, just like in the previous reading, you never know unless you ask. But here's the young man about to go on an adventure, and I think the adventure that he should be going on and focusing on is his college education. And what are we going to cross that with? The Seven of Wands. Melania's like, this is my son. He's still growing up. I really don't want to say like, oh, he's my little baby, but it could be some vibe like that that's going on with it. But long and short of it, she does not want her son to be dragged into this. Why? Because we're crossing with the Seven of Wands. And the Seven of Wands is he should be focusing his energies and efforts on the classes he's going to be taking this fall, not on, reporters and other politicians and things like that taking shots at him. She doesn't want him to have to fight that fight. Underneath it all is the Five of Swords. She will be a fierce guardian of his. It could, depending on your point of view, it could border on helicopter mom. And if you're not familiar with the term helicopter mom, a very brief, oversimplified, and possibly a little bit wrong explanation, it's a parent, usually the mom, that's hovering over the child in everything they do. Making sure that they don't make any mistakes and they don't fall off the path. And you're 3 steps away from falling off the path. 2 steps fall. No, you need to get back. Just always hovering. It's not letting go and letting the child grow up and make adult decisions. It's usually done with the best of intentions because you don't want to see your child fail. But at the same time, people in general learn more from failures than they do from successes. So sometimes, I think one of her lessons she has to learn is she has to let him fail so that he's got the power and the confidence that comes from success. She's already got it. She already knows what she needs to do to succeed. And it doesn't seem like he's a rotten kid or anything along those lines. So, let him do his dumb things. You can provide wisdom, but I'm not saying she's a helicopter mom. It's possible. And again, maybe it was just one of those things that he didn't know how to say no to it. His father's an overbearing narcissist, but so is Melania in her own quiet way. So Melania's got no problem telling Donald no. You can take that however you like. Happy Mother's Day, Melania. In the past of the Page of Swords, Barron just turned 18 years old. He's, again, 18 years old, man. You know very little in this world. You got to go out and explore. He's just a young person. Leave him alone. Let him find out who he is. We're not talking Five of Swords. We're talking Page of Swords. You're just starting to learn to wield the sword, and the point of the sword is off the page, so you still don't quite get the point of everything yet. This card did not come up last night, but hooray, the Drunken Hillbilly Brawl card. When she found out, oh my God. Let me at him! Let me at him! They probably had to take 5 people to hold her back. Oh, she was... this is a combination. Her raging. Oh, no. She normally, I think, has a really cold burn. This was not a cold burn. This was a fiery hot, blowing up Mount Pinatubo type of event. It's like, oh, let me... Um, the cats. And she doesn't want him to get into that giant fray. Do not get in. We got all these wands here. Do not get into the political fray. It's just, you're going to get dragged down into the mud with everybody else. And she wants her son to be above that. Again, think of Melania as thinking of herself as like a countess or a duchess or something along those lines. And these are a bunch of peasants in the field getting all dirty and muddy. She wants him elevated above that. American royalty, if you will. I could be wrong on that. I'm not. It's just the vibe I get. And again, I don't think there's nothing wrong with politics. But I understand her point. But we don't have American royalty here. She just doesn't want him in this mess. She has a bad taste on politics, and I get that. More wands. Okay, so after finding out what happened, and after the rage calmed, after smashing all of Don's, after taking Trump's ketchup bottles and throwing them against his big screen TV sets in his bedroom, short-shooting his bed and, putting Tabasco sauce in his ketchup bottles to watch the burn, then the messaging got out quick. They worked on the messaging. They perfected the messaging. I mean, there's not much messaging. He has prior commitments. That's not a lot of perfection. But they got the message out quickly. She, in her office, put the kibosh on this thing as fast as possible. Oh, you can imagine what the phone calls are like. Evan Power, you've got a call from Melania Trump on line 1. Tell her I'm busy for the next 5 years. The lesson to be learned is the Hermit card. You F around and you find out. Melania Trump made absolutely no qualms about her ability to stand up and say no. I think she also wants Barron to find his own way. A very kind way. She wants Barron to find his own path. Walk his own path, find his own way. But at the same time, it's like, there is no way you're dragging my son into this mud. Outcome is the 9 of Cups. She wins. She is going to win. And it's got that look. I had a Great Pyrenees that used to bully my golden retriever when we first got her. And she used to take his toys one at a time and line them outside in a line. And then she would stand in front of them like, are you going to come get your toys now? You have to get through me. And poor Casey, he was a sweet boy. And he didn't want to do that because she scared him. And Casey was a big boy. He's like 80, 85 pound golden retriever. And Bella was like 105, 110 pound Great Pyrenees with an attitude. She wasn't very nice to him initially. They got along much better as they got on with life. Melania's just sitting there like, yeah, try again. Who's next? Who wants some? I think Melania got the point across that you are not only to the Republican National Committee, but to her husband and her husband's family, that this is not going to happen. Now, here's something that bothers me. It's like, Junior, Eric, Ivanka, did anybody bother talking with Barron about this? I mean, did Barron even get asked his opinion, or was he just forced into it? And I kind of want to throw on that real quick. The RNC is not going to ask without running it by Donald Trump first. There's just no way they're going to do that without running it by him first, which means he said yes. And Trump knew that there's no way Melania was going to allow it, so he didn't bother telling her. That's kind of my vibe on that one. But, the adult spawn plus Tiffany, they probably, maybe they didn't know. Did they know? Little four-carder on the adult, just the energy around the adult spawn. Why didn't they tell Barron? Did they not know? Was it a mystery to them? Did they know? Did they not care? Magician. Maybe they just thought he was going to be one of them. The Hierophant. Look at these major arcana. Ace of Pentacles. Oh, God. Okay. My guess is that this was like to them, they sort of looked at this like a coming to age thing. What an opportunity. He's going to make a bunch of money just like the rest of us. You know, he'll get into government, he'll pledge his fealty to father just like we've done. And, welcome to the family business. They may not have known because they're off in their own world doing their own thing, but I have a really hard time believing that. I think they did know, and probably knowing the three of them, or four of them, they wished they had this opportunity when they were 18, because then there would be all sorts of money and power and stuff like that would come from it. What an incredible opportunity. So for them, they looked at it as an opportunity. Not in his best interest, but in their best interest if they were his age. Future career in government. No. They are entertainment purposes only. I think they're really self-absorbed. And they don't think like everyday people or normal people. They're off in their own, private little existence, completely detached from the reality that the rest of us live in. So, yeah, I'm glad I didn't choose that family to grow up in. What a mess. Anyways, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Oh, and my brother and I have started our Twin Tarot channel. Our first video went up last night. I'll have a link in the description. Go check it out. Give us a sub. Watch the video. Throw in a comment. Feed the YouTube algorithm. Do what you got to do. I wanted to do a project with my brother like that, different from this channel. I mean, that doesn't mean we won't talk about a bunch of political stuff, but, we can talk about anything we want. And it gives my brother, 50% creative license to go with it. Otherwise, if he's coming on my channel, he's a guest on my channel, and it's going to be my channel. So it gives me a great excuse to go hang out with Gary once a week or so and crank out some videos and do stuff like that. So go check it out. For folks new to this channel, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading insightful. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.